here.
Well, it's a big issue in the National Hockey League right now with Gary Bettman as the commissioner. As you know, the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, will be coming up, and they were not in the last Olympics. And the NHL, which had initially said, hey, we want our players to go through this experience of playing for the flag. But the problem they had was, who takes care of any player that gets hurt in the Olympics? There's a big insurance issue. Then the second thing is, how does it impact our schedule? We don't think we should stop our NHL season in January, take a 2-week hiatus so these guys can go play abroad. So they have not gone back to the Olympics now, the last 2 or 3 Olympics. There's a conversation going on right now of starting up again what's, I guess, would be called the World Cup of Hockey. And they had done this before. It was way back in the 70s and 80s. It was to have NHL stars play the Russian professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And that was during the era of the Iron Curtain. Well, that was flashy, and that happened, and there's history that surrounds all that, the international games. Well, there's talk now about an international tournament. I don't understand Gary Bettman's thinking. He's proposed, because they don't want to shut down for 2 weeks, he's proposed a 1-week mid-season tournament. But it would only involve 4 countries: USA,
Mm-hmm.
Canada, where the game was born, Sweden, and Finland. And there's a ton of Scandinavians that are playing in the NHL now.
Yeah.
So I asked the question to myself the other day, Russia, all the European countries, why are you excluding them? You don't want Alexander Ovechkin, the future Hall of Famer, Washington Capitals, to play in a NHL international tournament? How can that be? So the union's going to get involved in this, but my theory is, okay, if you only want to have 4 teams so you can make it worthwhile with the schedule, just have US, Canada, have a Scandinavian team, and then have a European team that encompasses every other guy. Because there's players from Belarus, and there's players from Latvia, and obviously so many really good Russian players, Putin notwithstanding. So you got to allow everybody to come.
Yeah.
So we'll see where this goes, but the union's going to have some involvement here. They want to limit it to 4. Well, do it. Team USA, Team Canada, Team Scandinavia, Team Europe. That's my solution if I were king.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to have a World Cup, then don't limit it to 4. I mean, let's make it a real World Cup. Because, like, to your point, there's a lot of other nations. I mean, Austria usually has a pretty good team. And you were talking about, what was it? Was it Finland and Sweden? But what about Norway?
You talk Team Scandinavia.
Well, if you lump them all together, sure. But then so I don't know. I hope that they can work out a deal to get them in the Olympics, because I think that's where this would be terrific, on a nation by nation basis.
Yeah, but baseball doesn't stop its season for 2 weeks so somebody can go play World Baseball.
Well, but European soccer does. The NBA is sort of kind of doing that now with their in-season tournament. So I like this idea of having in-season tournaments. But yeah, it's disruptive to the schedule, but just hopefully they can work it out.
We'll see where it goes. A lot of negotiations still to come.